On June 27th, at least 4 people were confirmed dead after widespread flooding swept across Kentucky following days of persistent heavy rainfall. The intense precipitation caused rivers, creeks, and streams to rise rapidly, overwhelming drainage systems and triggering dangerous flash floods across multiple counties. Homes, businesses, and public infrastructure were inundated as water levels climbed throughout the day, prompting emergency officials to warn that conditions could continue worsening in many areas. The fatalities underscored the severity of the disaster as rescue teams responded to numerous emergencies across the state.
There's floating bins.
I can't believe that fence held all that for all that time, that pressure. That's huge.
The scale of the flooding prompted state authorities to declare a state of emergency as emergency response operations expanded across Kentucky. Local governments, emergency management agencies, firefighters, law enforcement officers, and search and rescue teams coordinated efforts to protect residents, assist evacuations, and respond to people trapped by rapidly rising floodwaters.
Front yard?
Emergency operations centres remained active while officials monitored river levels, weather conditions, and reports from affected communities to direct resources where they were most urgently needed. Heavy rainfall produced dangerous flash flooding that quickly submerged neighbourhoods, rural communities, and major transportation routes. Numerous roads became impassable after being covered by fast-moving water, while bridges and low-water crossings posed significant risks. Authorities repeatedly urged motorists not to drive through flooded roadways, emphasising that even a small amount of moving water can sweep away vehicles and create life-threatening situations.
Whatever it is, water's up against the building all the way around. I drove around that ordering deal, and water's 14, 15 inches deep all the way around that thing. There's your Taco Bell. You can swim in there and get all you want.
Road closures were implemented across several counties to reduce the danger to travellers and emergency responders. Emergency crews carried out numerous water rescues as floodwaters trapped residents inside homes, stranded motorists in vehicles, and isolated neighbourhoods from outside assistance. Rescue personnel used boats, high-water vehicles and specialised equipment to reach people in areas inaccessible to conventional emergency vehicles. First responders operated under extremely challenging conditions, navigating swift currents, submerged obstacles, and floating debris while working to evacuate vulnerable residents to safer locations.
This is almost tomorrow. Top Big Hill.
The flooding caused extensive damage to residential properties, commercial buildings, agricultural land, and public infrastructure. Many homes sustained significant water damage, while businesses were forced to suspend operations because of inundation and inaccessible roads. Bridges, streets, drainage systems, and utility networks also suffered varying degrees of damage, complicating emergency response efforts. In several communities, power outages and communication disruptions added to the challenges faced by residents and emergency personnel.
This is normally a creek.
That's where I used to live. It'll be there when I get back, I don't know. My God. My God.
Authorities continued assessing the impact as reports of flooded neighborhoods and damaged infrastructure arrived from multiple counties. Emergency management officials remained focused on locating stranded individuals, supporting local rescue operations, and ensuring that evacuation routes remained accessible where possible. The rapidly changing situation required continuous monitoring as water levels fluctuated across rivers and smaller waterways throughout the state. Residents living in flood-prone areas were advised to evacuate if instructed by local authorities and to move to higher ground when rising water threatened their homes. Emergency shelters were prepared to accommodate displaced families, while volunteers and relief organisations provided food, drinking water, temporary shelter, and other essential supplies for those affected by the disaster. Officials stressed that public cooperation with evacuation orders and emergency instructions was critical to reducing further loss of life. Meteorologists warned that saturated soil and elevated river levels could prolong flooding even after the heaviest rainfall diminished. Additional runoff was expected to continue feeding rivers and streams, increasing the possibility of continued flooding in vulnerable areas. Emergency officials urged residents to remain alert for updated flood warnings, monitor official forecasts, and avoid unnecessary travel until conditions improved. The flooding demonstrated how rapidly severe weather can develop into a life-threatening emergency when prolonged rainfall overwhelms natural waterways and drainage systems. Recovery efforts were expected to continue long after the immediate crisis, as authorities assessed damage, restored essential infrastructure, cleared debris, and supported affected communities. Officials continued encouraging the public to avoid flooded roads, remain informed through official updates, and prioritise safety while emergency crews worked to stabilise conditions across Kentucky. Thanks for watching Nature Crisis. Stay safe, stay informed, and always follow official guidance during emergencies. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe for more updates on natural disasters and severe weather around the world.
You can stop praying for rain now. Believe we got it now. God.